Hello, my divine souls. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness, with your spiritual guide and twin flame coach, Neha. In today's episode, we will be talking about trauma. Yes, what is trauma? Many people they don't like to discuss when it comes to understanding their trauma. In this episode, we will have an in-depth knowledge and understanding of what is trauma and how does it impact our life and how can we come out of such traumas. So, what is trauma? When we say I'm traumatized, I have trauma, we need to understand what is trauma first. Trauma is an emotional, psychological and physical response to experiences that overwhelm a person's ability to cope or feel safe. It is not only about what happened, it's also about how the mind and body reacts to what happened. A traumatic experience can make someone feel helpless, unsafe, terrified, abandoned, and deeply hurt or emotionally overwhelmed. So, where does trauma come from? We have heard the word trauma, but we have to understand that what are the different areas of our life through which trauma can impact us. So, trauma can come from places like abuse or violence, domestic violence, abuse in any form, accidents or disasters, loss of a loved one, bullying, toxic relationships, childhood instability, emotional rejection, and sometimes war, discrimination, or chronic stress. Some traumas they happen suddenly, for example, a car accident, while other traumas they develop slowly over the years, for example, growing up in constantly critical or unsafe environment and family dynamic. An important point to be understood here is two people can go through the same event and react differently. How? Meaning, what is traumatic for one person may not affect another the same way. So, two different personalities may react to the same kind of trauma differently. So, trauma is deeply personal. It's extremely personal. So, we cannot expect that one condition or one situation of trauma will impact, all people or different kind of people the same way. It won't. Because we all have come from different fields of life, different family dynamics. So, as per that, your body, your consciousness, your nervous system is going to react to that trauma as per your surroundings, your environment. So, it's completely different for each and every person on how they react to such trauma. So, let's understand that how trauma affects people, Trauma can affect your thoughts, overthinking, emotions, being emotionally vulnerable or feeling scared to be emotionally vulnerable, sometimes suppressing your emotions. Then, trauma affects your relationships also. You fail to give in into that relationship which deserves the best because of your trauma. Probably because you sabotage that relationship because of your trauma. Another thing that trauma can affect is your sleep. You might go through insomnia. It also affects your self-esteem. You might feel underconfident or you might start people pleasing. It affects your physical health and also your nervous system. So people with trauma they have experienced many situations I have come across many people who have shared their stories with me and told me what trauma feels like. A person who has gone through trauma may experience anxiety or panic, emotional numbness sometimes, anger or irritability, flashbacks or nightmares of that event, that situation which occurred years ago, months ago, trust issues, difficult to trust people, difficult to trust if a new partner has come into your life. Hypervigilance, this is very important, always feeling on guard. You will always be scrutinizing the other person because you feel that it's unsafe for you to trust the other person. So you'll always be on guard. Difficulty feeling safe, depression, which is very common, and people pleasing or extremely isolating yourself. Sometimes, the trauma survivors, they don't even realize that they are traumatized because their survival behaviors became normal to them. They start suppressing it, they think that it is normal. It is normal to feel this way. But they don't understand that trauma carries many things over the years, and when it hits rock bottom, it becomes very difficult to get out of it. So let's understand the trauma through the brain and body connection. When someone experiences trauma, the brain can enter survival mode. That's why maximum people, if you see in today's time, they are surviving in a survival mode. They are living in a survival mode. Like fight, aggression or anger, sudden aggression or anger, losing patience. Secondly is flight. Flight meaning running. Running away from relationship, running away from responsibilities, avoiding responsibilities, overworking, running away from a good relationship which is healthy, avoiding commitments which is healthy. Third is freeze. Freeze meaning shutting down emotionally, where you shut down emotionally, where you are numb. You feel like you feel nothing, you have become a stone. That is very dangerous. And fourthly, fawn. Fawn meaning pleasing others to stay safe. You become a people pleaser. You don't realize, but you become a people pleaser over the time. So the body may continue reacting as if danger is still present even after the event is over. Your body, your subconscious mind, your nervous system, your brain is always on alert mode, meaning it's always ready for the shoe to fall. It's ready that something worst will happen. It's always ready that the other person is going to disappoint you. It's ready that the worst is yet to come. So even after the danger has passed, the situation, the event has passed, your body, your nervous system will still feel like that the danger is still present. You are still unsafe. So that is how it impacts your life. So trauma is a wound to the mind, body or emotion caused by overwhelming experiences. And healing is the process of reclaiming safety, connection and peace. Now, healing trauma, when we talk about healing a trauma, it's not about erasing painful memories. You cannot erase them from your memory. You cannot erase them from your brain. We are not robots or we are not some machines that will erase it. You cannot do that. But it's about helping the mind and body feel safe again. You know that you have been through those painful memories, painful situations and painful events. But you come into acceptance and awareness that you need to feel safe again. You need to relive your life again. You're not pushing away those painful memories, but at the same time, you're not remembering or living with those painful memories, which means you are moving past those events, trying to be a better you, a healthy you, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So it's about helping the mind and body feel safe again, so the pain no longer controls your life. Because when you keep on remembering or going down the memory lane of those painful events, you cannot come out of such traumatic experiences. It will not let you come out, because you'll be going in circles, remembering those events, feeling pain in your heart, in your mind, depressed. But once you decide, you come into awareness that okay, till here, this was it. I had a traumatic experience, I had lessons to learn, I have moved past them. Now I need to move on from here for a better me, for a healthy me, so that that previous pain no longer controls your life. And when that pain has no power over you, that trauma or that traumatic situation has no power over you or over your life, it cannot control you anymore. So healing usually happens gradually in layers and often includes emotional, physical, and relational healing. Now let's understand how to heal in such situations. Many people, they think that it's very easy to come out from a traumatic situation. No, it's not. That's why I said, in this case, healing usually happens gradually. It takes time. So to heal, first you have to understand, you have to acknowledge what happened. What happened with you? What you had to go through? But many people, they minimize their pain by saying that others had it worse, it wasn't that bad, or I should be over it. You cannot be over it overnight. Healing begins when you honestly recognize that pain, that trauma, that event, and you start questioning yourself that what happened to me affected me. You come into acceptance that yes, whatever happened to me affected me. And you also come into acceptance the level of effect, the level of effect I'm saying, like from 1 to 10, the level, the counting that affected me emotionally, mentally, physically. How much did it affect me? You'll come into acceptance. You do not need to justify your pain for it to matter. You just have to honestly recognize it. Secondly, create safety first. You have to feel safe first after you have come into acceptance. Because the trauma keeps the nervous system in survival mode. That's why many people, even after they have, passed that event, that horrific situation in their life, they keep on going in circles. And they keep on living, but in a survival mode. Because the trauma keeps the nervous system in survival mode. So before deep healing can happen, the body needs signals of safety. And these signals of safety can include by stable routines, discipline, having safe and reliable people around you, sharing your story, your pain to such people who are reliable and whom you trust, resting enough and not pushing yourself towards work, responsibilities, understanding that you are healing through a traumatic event. Having and building healthy boundaries around you. Reducing toxic environment, not indulging in toxic environment, people and situation. Because safety is the foundation of healing. Until and unless you don't feel safe, you cannot start healing. Thirdly, regulating the nervous system. I have told you, and there is a separate episode on this nervous system. There is part 1 and part 2. You can go and watch it. How does the nervous system affect your body and how can you heal your nervous system? Regulating the nervous system is very important when you have come out from such traumatic events. Because trauma lives not only in memories but also in the body. And how do you regulate the nervous system? By doing practices like deep breathing, grounding exercises, meditation, walking, yoga, whatever suits you. Slow movement, resting. these small practices, when you build each day, these helps you and teaches the body that the danger is over now. You can rest, you can relax, the danger part is gone. You have to teach that to your body and mind, that the danger is gone. Fourthly, talk about it safely, because unspoken pain often grows heavier. That's why I tell you, you need to talk to people who are reliable and whom you trust. And it can also happen through therapy, support groups, trusted friends and family members, journaling. Write down your thoughts, no matter how stupid it seems. Just write it down. Or through creative expressions like art, music, writing, if you have any such hobby, gardening. Because you do not have to carry everything alone. You have to talk it out. The more you keep it suppressed within you, the more that trauma is going to build up and you'll never heal from it. Fifth, understand your survival responses. Many behaviors that people hate about themselves are one's protection. Example, people pleasing, emotional numbness, anger, hyper independence. This hyper independence word is so much hyped nowadays. They think that being hyper independent, I can do it myself, I'm so independent. This is hyped so badly nowadays. I just wonder sometimes that, do we really need to be hyper independent? Being independent is something healthy, but being hyper independent is like you're escaping from help, you're escaping from support. You don't want any help, you don't want to seek help, you don't want to seek support because you think that asking help makes you feel small. Another part is avoidance. You avoid it. You don't want to talk about it. And perfectionism. You want everything perfect. From head to toe, you want everything perfect. Let it be in your work area, family area, anything. So instead of asking yourself that what's wrong with me, try asking yourself that what was this protecting me from? That shift can itself create self-compassion. Because in this trauma healing recovery, you need to have self-compassion. You need to be kind to yourself and take things one day at a time. Sixth, grieve what was lost. Healing often includes grieving also. Okay? You need to grieve. Things like childhood safety, trust, relationships, the version of yourself that had to survive. Grief is painful, but it also allows emotional release. That's why I always tell you people that whenever you feel sad, you want to grieve, you want to cry, let it out. That is the best way of healing and releasing your emotions. Another point, build healthy connections. Trauma can isolate people or fear closeness. Healing grows in safe connection. Honest relationships, supportive communities, mentors, guides, being seen without any judgment, without any filters, transparency, learning to trust slowly. Because humans, they heal through connection. The more isolated you are, the more you are miserable you are making your life. So don't try to isolate yourself. Try to build healthy connections with people and surroundings. Another part, be patient with the process because healing is rarely linear. Some days you'll feel peaceful, someday the old pain returns. You'll be going in circles. That does not mean failure. Because recovery often looks like reacting less intensely, feeling emotions without drowning in them, setting boundaries, sleeping better, feeling present again. But remember that small changes matter. What I told you, one step at a time. Small changes, they matter. And these small changes becomes routine, becomes a discipline. So, trauma-informed therapy can also be helpful if you are seeking any kind of therapy around you. The main point in trauma is that healing does not mean becoming the person you were before trauma. Get that very rightly. Like, healing does not mean becoming the person that you were before trauma. It means becoming someone who is no longer ruled by survival mode. It means becoming a new personality who does not live in survival mode or in fear. The coping mechanisms that you once protected you may no longer be needed. And the fact that you survived means healing is possible. Okay? If you have survived such traumatic situation, means healing is also possible. But what you have to do for that? You have to come into acceptance, awareness, have self-compassion for yourself, and understand that every person in their life goes through traumatic experiences. It's just that the level of trauma is different from each other. Some people go through intense traumatic experiences, whereas some go through light traumatic experiences. But at the end of the day, understanding, coming into awareness, and making a decision for yourself that I need to heal from this is what matters the most. So if you like this episode on understanding what is trauma and how to heal from it, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, support me, help me to grow my channel. For any kind of personal guidance, you can WhatsApp or email me. My contact details have been given in the description box and mentioned in the video as well. I provide a 10 to 15 minutes demo session before booking any counseling or guidance session with me. Thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing, for supporting my channel. I'm really grateful to have you as my soul family. I'll see you again in another episode.